Gary, first off, you've got the win. How are you feeling about the performance and how are you feeling in general? Because we've been struggling a bit.
Yeah, just struggle. I'm kind of. I've got to the stage now. When I lose, doesn't matter. I go home. You know, I've had a few days on the practice board, but I've got in my head. Next year, get this year over done with. Next year, we'll give it a good go.
This year's been so stop-start. You've had injury problems for large parts of it. Do you feel physically well enough to get through this year's Winmau?
Yeah, physically sick. You want to ask? No, we're getting there. You know, it's. I don't know. It's the more time I spend at home, the more time I've got a lovely practice room. You know, there's nobody about to practice with. If I did want to practice, go down to the pub. Can't even do that. So, no, I find playing on your own. Not like these youngsters. I don't practice. You look on the internet, they're on it 24/7. You know, they're all mingling and practising, which I thought was a no-no. But yeah, I mean, computer-wise and game of darts, nah, I'll stick to the real thing, thank you.
Ryan Sir was telling us he was planning next year about you and him.
Yeah. I'm going to work out. I mentioned it the last time I seen Ryan. You know, he's I think he's only about 40 minutes up the road. So you know, I'm got Ryan. Honestly, Ryan, he's going to be one to watch out. You've got all the names coming through there now, but. You know, the way that lad plays darts, I mean, I watch him on the practice board. He goes on stage and plays well, but nothing like what he does on the practice board. So, yes, it'll be a scary time if he takes his practice game onto that stage.
Yeah, ridiculously talented dart players who've got rubbish eyesight. There's a few of them about, aren't there?
I need to get these changed because I'm telling you, when I swap with Dave.
How do you feel about that performance there? Because there was some good stuff.
Yeah, there was some good stuff. You know, the doubles. I'm kind of getting back into the old boat when I miss doubles to win a leg, I lose it. You know, I end up getting in a huff for myself. You know, but yeah, a few missed doubles, gave him a shot. His treble 19 started to kill me off. You know, he was hitting them regular, but you know, we nicked it. You know.
Madders not a guy you'd played before. He doesn't rush Madders, but neither does Mensur Suljovic, a potential opponent for you. Dirk van Dijvenbode can take his time. He's in the same quarter.
Well, Dirk you can't see because he's got that WD-40 in his back. Blinds you. Can't see a bloody thing.
The Dave Hayes.
It's no I call it WD-40. You know. It's yeah. I mean, like I say, I mean, to me, I've watched the players. I used to watch Dennis Priestley. It was always funny. You know, on stage. Slow as they like. You watch him on a practice board. Chalk and cheese.
Saw the same from Brendan Dolan, but you dealt with that.
Mensah. I've always said Mensah as a quick player is far better, and he is. I'll stick to my word.
He's not going to be quick if he plays either.
I love Mensah, but I just hate playing him. He definitely is a character, and he's a lovely bloke, you know. But on the stage, I just don't want to be playing him.
Well, it might be next round. We'll see if he comes through against Matt Edgar. Do you think you're in a position where you could make it a third Winmau World Championship side?
Look, I don't know. If you ask me this year, to be honest, no. Not a hope in hell. Right? And that's the way I've done it. Same with this year, but again, I've made it to the final of this, the semis of that. You know, and to me, I'm playing absolutely rubbish. You know, so these boys are on the board 24/7. I'm not. You know, who's the ones that I've got to watch out? Is it them because I'm on the board all the time, or is it me because I'm not practising? So,
guess we'll find out over the next week or so.
2029, I'll be back.
Enjoy Christmas.
Well, do you too.
Gary, is this the first time you come here with absolutely no expectations at all?
I've done it every year. Every year I expect to get beat first game, and I've always done that. I've always played by the rule. Always. Just turn up, you play a game. You know, you get the boys, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Doesn't happen. You do it for the next 10 years, it's got to happen one day, hasn't it? So, but I mean, the standard players nowadays, listen, you go up there and try your hardest to win, and if you win, you've done well.
The build-up wasn't ideal for you. Obviously, you got pinged by track and trace, had to self-isolate. What was that like at home for 10 days for you? Because we know that you're not the best when you're cooped up.
It would have been better if I'd got a week later and I could have had this whole Christmas at home. But it was, it's one of these things, you know. It's stay clear, touch wood. You know, we're all good. Back home, even with the other job that I do, you know, everything's kind of well kept apart. You know, we don't see many people, and you know, that's the bit I struggle with. You know, back home I do it right, and we do. You know, we shopping as little as possible, meet people as little as possible, and then we come here and it's, you know, you hear you're coming into London Tier 4. You know, don't touch your banister. Don't do anything actually. You know, it's a bit scary.
When you did get pinged and had to self-isolate, Was there a worry that you wouldn't be able to compete in this year's Worlds for yourself?
Well, it wasn't a worry. If I couldn't play, I couldn't play. I ain't going to lose sleep over it. It's as simple as that. It's a way. If you can't do it, you can't do it, and that's it. That's the rules. That's the law. So there was no use crying over it if I had to miss it, was there?
And we know you ducked out tournaments where you had to travel because you were worried. When London got put into Tier 4, was there a concern for you about coming to London and potentially putting out?
Well, the PDC blocked me. They shut off my number. Yeah, it's great that we're here and still playing darts. You know, PDC's working very hard. You know, and they're getting the games on the boys. A lot of the boys, this is all they've got darts. You know, and being a youngster and playing darts for a living, it is your job, and it's going to be hard for them. You know, especially if they get knocked off in another 6 months, what they're going to do. But yeah, it's one of these. You know, but PDC, well, the lads, they've done well. You know, they've got on the internet now. I still can't get my head around that internet darts.
Gary, congratulations.
Before you ask, no.
Gary, congratulations always, mate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Phil.
Gary, do you see it as a risk going home for Christmas, or
What, the darts?
are you staying in the hotel?
No, I'm going back. You know, I think I've got to be back on Boxing Day to get tested again. So, but yeah, it's I don't know. What would you say? Country's in lockdown. Nobody's letting us in or out. You know, or the Dutch boys are across here for Christmas. Heart bleeds. Kill a proper Christmas now, can't they? But nah, it's I don't know. It's just one of these things. But we're here playing darts. You know, so it's good and bad, but see how it goes.
Would you say you're satisfied with how you played it there? Because a high 90s average is a lot higher than some of the other big names have thrown this week.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm here, some of them's not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm miles off my A game. Miles off my A game. So I still scrape through, still make finals with the lack of practice I've had over the last 2 years, not just last year. So, like I say, I've said it before, what does that tell you? Do they need to prove, or do I need to practice more? It's one of these things. Yeah. But I still win games, and if I do lose, I'm losing just. Unless it's Michael. Michael usually batters me.
Say you're miles off your A game. What do you think your A game is at the moment?
33%. You play darts more in one day than what I do in 6 months.
I don't.
I tell you what, that's how much I play in 6 months. Not a lot. Not a lot at all.
Cheers, Gary. Thank you very much.